Hey, this is Ashley.
And this is Vanessa.
And this is another Oopsy Daisy podcast. Sorry we haven't uploaded anything in the last couple weeks. I actually was on vacation. So, did you miss me?
No. Why would I miss you?
It was good, though.
I did feel very jealous, though, when you sent me a picture of that Philly cheesesteak.
Oh, yeah.
That was heartbreaking. I was like...
While I was watching Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, even that, on top of everything, I was like, I cannot.
My grandmother watches all that stuff, and so, because I was staying with her at that point...
You say, that's a bad thing? Little House on the Prairie is a gem.
No, I'm just saying, everything that was playing, at least, when I was, with her, she was watching, the Hallmark station, and they were all, movies that were, based in that time period.
But, Little House is amazing.
And, of course, those movies were produced by, Michael Landon Jr.,
Therefore, it has to be in coalition. Fucking, I can't talk anymore. Let's just end the podcast now. I can't even say a simple word.
But yeah, so it was a good vacation, though. So, today we're going to be talking about the fourth episode in production order. Or no, third? Wait, which one is it? The third one in production order.
I was gonna say, you're supposed to know this. Also, I wanted to ask, was there a specific reason? I probably forgot. But did they, because the production order is, based how, the story should have went? Or...
Yeah, apparently.
Oh.
These are the ones that they, this is how they filmed it.
Oh.
So, things should make a little bit more sense in this, but the broadcast order is, it goes out of order, especially, when the Disney used to show it. So, they showed it, in a really weird order.
Oh,
that,
okay.
Things didn't make sense. One episode, he's not with Kendra. And then the next episode he is, and there's, no explanation or,
You're right.
Okay. So, we're in the third production episode, and it's the fall. And the summary of that is, Casey trips at school on the staircase and takes it out on innocent bystanders after Derek insults her. Derek can't stop laughing as he and his best friend Sam look on. Derek nicknames her Clutzilla, a name that quickly spreads throughout the school. The whole school is watching out for Clutzilla, and she blames it all on Derek. So, it was his fault that she's called Clutzilla, because he's the one that said it, and he has a big influence.
He always has an influence, though, on anything that, Casey's embarrassed about. It's Derek, 100%.
Okay, so the episode starts out with Casey and Emily on top of the staircase, and they see Derek walking below the they're in the hallway below the staircase area, and they can see him. And apparently he hasn't talked to her at all while they're in school. Sam makes a comment about the new girl is pretty cute, and Derek, of course, is you're blind.
You're blind. You're blind.
So that's interesting.
It's because he didn't. I don't know why he hasn't. I guess he could know that they're related and say that, but at that point, I don't think he would.
What do you mean?
I don't know, it's Sam's never noticed her before, and he's just oh, hey, look at her. And I'm she's been at your school for how long now? And
yeah, they don't really say how long it's been since,
yeah.
the between episodes. I would assume just a couple weeks, maybe, but...
Even then, I think he would have noticed her. That's just me.
And then it gets to the point where Casey's going down the stairs, and Derek is going up the stairs. And she falls because Derek makes some weird comment to her, and she falls. Now, she was looking at Sam very briefly. I will admit that. But, it was because of Derek's comment, because she got all, flustered over it.
I don't even remember what he says. It's been 84 years since I watched it. We pre-watched this, guys, by the way. But because Ashley decided to go on a spontaneous vacation to get Philly cheesesteak, everything left my mind. So.
It wasn't I didn't go just because I wanted cheesesteak.
Don't lie.
I had a wedding, and I had a birthday party, and I had other people to see.
And you had cheesesteak. That is the common denominator. Therefore, that's why you went. Anyway, so whatever comment he said, she falls. And it's a very exaggerated one.
She shouldn't have fallen, like, how she did. At all. I think she, like, literally just, like, fell. Like, it wasn't even like she lost her footing on her way down. Like, she literally just fell in a really weird way. And, like, I feel like she was, like, halfway down the staircase, rather. So, like, she wouldn't have fallen the way she did anyway. Like, I don't know. But anyway, it was a very exaggerated fall.
She straight up, like, leap of faith off the, like, stairs. She just, like, dove off the stairs. Let's be real. There was no trip, she just dove. And it brings up a thing, because I remember when I was in high school, and I fell down the stairs too. I was going to class and totally, like, bailed, but here's the thing. I didn't, like, dive like Casey did. I was like, okay, if I'm doing this, I'm making it look like I did it on purpose. So I, like, fell and then spun around on the stair and just made it look like I was sitting there very fancy. So I was like, yep, just chilling here. Go on with your day, people. And no one said anything. Like, she could have played it off.
But you also didn't take down, like, a group of people either.
That's because I went for style points, unlike Casey.
She was going for, like, bowling pins.
Exactly. She was going for the strike. I was going for style points.
So she brings down, like, 2 or 3 people.
I think there's 2. It's the dude and the chick.
So, of course, Derek's laughing at this, and he calls her the famous name Kletzilla. Which I think is actually pretty genius. I would never have thought of that.
Neither would I.
That nickname. You gotta give Derek some creative points there.
It is a lame name, though. It is so lame.
I like it, though. I mean, even though like it's used to torture her, it's just, I think it's pretty funny.
It's true.
And so she falls right on Corey Plunkett's butt, and she's just like laying there on it for a while until she realizes.
Just like her face on his butt, and she's just there.
I don't know how she even, like, I don't know. But, like, if I fell, I would have, like, tried to get up as soon as possible.
Yeah, because you don't want to make a big deal out of it, but she just lays there.
And she's just like, yeah, let me just chill on the ground for a while. Like,
let's let this scene sink into everyone to notice.
So then, they're at dinner. Wait, no.
Ha! Ha ha ha, my notes are better than yours!
No, they're in Casey's room. It cuts to Casey's room. And Lizzie comes to her room to tell her that it's dinner, right?
Yep.
And then she's like, no, I'm not hungry. And then I think I'm going to write some poetry.
She totally does that, and that's the most bizarre, dramatic thing ever. It's just like, I'm not hungry. Let me starve. I starve for my art, my poetry kind of thing. And it makes me laugh.
Like, I could see her saying, like, just like, listen, I'm not hungry. And then Lizzie leaves and, like, she takes out her, like, journal or something. And we see her writing. But the fact that she's actually like, I'm going to go write some poetry. It's just like...
She has to, like, talk about the despair of being Kletzilla in her poetry.
Yes. And it's just... Casey, you're just so dramatic. So dramatic.
Melodramatic.
Like, I don't know how anyone is friends with her when she's this dramatic.
I don't either. I wouldn't be, to be fair. Like, that's too much drama for me.
But, alright, so then they have dinner, and, you know, Derek's being all insensitive about it. He tells the family about her Kletzilla incident. And of course, Casey just happens to overhear all this. Like, she just comes out from writing her poetry. And then she gets more dramatic.
More dramatic.
More dramatic. Way, way more dramatic. And then, not long after the dinner scene, Casey, Nora comes in to talk to Casey. Nora's just kind of telling her about her, like, this guy she was with in, like, high school or something.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, their braces got stuck together, and it might be one of Casey's, like, teachers.
I don't know why people who have braces will, like, attempt that just because of the possibility of being caught together. It's like, you should know the dangers of such a thing.
I don't know. I never had braces, so...
Neither have I.
I don't know that pain.
I mean, it's broadcasted on, like, every media outlet, pretty much, no matter what. If someone has braces and they do that, that's what happens.
Especially when they both have braces.
Exactly.
But I think the weirdest thing is that they were hinting that this person was potentially Casey's teacher now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just really interesting. Like, that, because, like, was Nora originally from this area? Or, you know, was she originally from Toronto? Or, like, they all just happen to be, like, this is a small world type of thing where it's the same person?
I mean, it's not really told, but it could work either way. It could be that Nora's from London, or the teacher is originally from Toronto. We don't know.
Yeah. And they just happen to be in the same area for some reason.
Yeah, and then fates be whatever, and then they both now are in London.
I actually had a story like that where my mom's cousin, ex-fiancé, was my math teacher.
Ooh. That's drama.
I've never said anything to him about it, and I barely talked to him. He was a weird person. But of course, I told one of my friends about it, and when he had the class the next year, he said something.
Of course.
I'm like, at least I didn't have him at that point anymore for it to get awkward. But, like, I have a very unique last name to the point where he has to know I'm related. So, yeah.
Well, like, when I went to school in Quebec, I went to my parents' high school. And when I went there, the janitor used to date my mom when they were in high school.
What?
Yeah.
What?
It was so bad. Like, they went to school together, and then I'm at that school now, and then this guy's like a janitor, and my mom used to date him in high school.
How did you find out he used to date her?
Because there was, like, some event going on at my school, and my mom showed up, and then he was there, and my mom was like, "Oh, hey, what up, Bob?" His name was. And then he was like, "Oh, Nancy!"
Oh my god, so many people are named Bob. It's not even funny.
I think it's Rob or Bob.
Like, half my mom's ex's name are Bob.
Is your dad's name Bob?
No, Tom.
Close. Another 3-letter word. But no, it's funny because she, like, after that interaction, I was like, okay. And then she's like, "You don't understand. He brought me to see Grease, and then he bought me the soundtrack on vinyl for it." I was like, got it. And she saw Grease 13 times in theater, okay?
Oh.
She loves that movie.
Oh, okay, back to the episode.
Yes.
So anyway, Casey's again being dramatic about when she's talking to Nora. She's, like, saying, like, "Oh, I want to, like, switch schools and everything," and it's not gonna help. I mean...
No.
I mean, if someone's like, "Oh yeah, she left because she fell."
Yeah.
Like, that's so lame.
That's gonna spread to the other school, and it's gonna be, like, worse.
Yeah. So, anyway, she does go back to school the next day, and she has on this, like, disguise. She just has, like, her hair put up in a ponytail with, like, a hat on and sunglasses.
Wasn't she, like, wearing a blonde wig or something?
No. That was in another episode, like, next season.
Oh, okay, 'cause for some reason I just remember a blonde wig, and I was like, what a good disguise.
No. But this wasn't any better. Like, at least that one, she had a wig. This one, she's still her, but she's just, like, with a hat and sunglasses. And who the heck wears sunglasses in school?
I did.
Well, I never did. So, not that they really let us wear hats either.
Once again, I wore a hat.
And she's, like, using her locker, so, like, who's this random person using, like, Casey's locker? Oh, wow, it's Casey.
She's just really bad at being, like, super, like, low-key. Let's be real.
She makes it worse for herself by being, like, this way. Like, I don't know.
It's her.
But anyway, Corey comes up to her while she's so well disguised, and he's saying he's suing her.
That made me laugh really hard because everyone falls, everyone trips. You can't sue a person for falling on you.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when she fell on your butt, which is probably the most cushioned part of your body.
No, his butt hurts.
No. Like, no.
I mean, I think we found Casey's dramatic counterpart. It's Corey.
We really did. Let's this show's over. It's done. New ship. It's Corey and Casey.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't even be bringing it up anymore because it's just like, whatever. Who cares? Like, I really don't understand why people like they keep bringing it up like when they're not Casey. Like, it just, I don't know. And I don't really get what he thinks he's going to get from Casey suing her.
He's a flair. He likes the flair for dramatics like Casey does, and that's why they're the perfect couple.
So she ends up going to Paul, and she doesn't really deal with teasing well at all. Like, you see that every time she's with Derek, she gets very, like, defensive, and then this is really upsetting her. And she needs embarrassing stories from others to help her, because she got one from her mom, and then she basically demands it out of Paul.
Yeah, to me, that I feel it's like a not cool thing that you have to make yourself feel better by everyone else's, like,
embarrassment.
Sad embarrassment. Like, that's what bullies do, right? They make themselves feel better by picking on others and making them feel bad. I'm like, why would you put that for Casey? Because she's not that type of person, right?
I just think, like, she got very pushy with Paul. Like, her mom just, like, gave her a story to, like, let's relate. But with Paul, she was like, tell me a story. And it's just like, girl, he is, like, the counselor, an adult, like, supposed to be superior to you in a way, because he's an authority figure, and you're, like, yelling at him to tell you a story. Like, chill.
Here's what I don't get. This guy's a counselor, so he should have, like, all the most embarrassing, like, stories in, like, a vault from all these people he's counseled. So he could have, like, picked any and said it was him and not have felt bad at all.
That's true, too. I mean, he didn't have to say, like, their name or anything. It could be, like, him passing it off, but...
Exactly. It's like all these, like, crime shows where they're like, the stories are true, but the names have been changed kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
He could have done that, but said it was him and been like, yeah, this was my embarrassing story. Isn't that bad? Instead, he told a real story and was like, oh, super bummed.
And then we go back to the Venturi McDonald house, and they're in the living room. And then all of a sudden, Derek's coming down with the camera, and he's having Edwin reenact the Clutzilla incident. And this is the first time we see Derek with his video camera.
Thus has been birthed his love of filmmaking.
Yeah. And I think Lizzie was, like, saying to Edwin, like, oh, how long is he going to keep this up? And Edwin was like, oh, probably forever, or something like that.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I wouldn't, because I'm not a horrible person. But...
Well, no, I think it is, like, especially if it's just, like, an inside joke between, like, them, it's fine.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's milking it now because it just happened.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, you know, of course, anytime she, like, trips or falls, like, okay, Clutzilla, okay. Like, even I would do that. It's just something that's, you know... I would never take it to the extreme that he did at
I feel like
school.
There's so many things that you do that towards me. I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's something I made. I did something bad, and you were like, lol. And then if something would have happened again, you'd be like, hey, remember that? And I'd been like, no.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Casey, and then it cuts to, like, Casey working out in her room. She's like, I don't know what she's doing. She's just working out.
That's not even working out. She's literally, like, punching and kicking. And I was like, what is this? Is this some jazzercise? And she's like, let me get my workout clothes on. Punch! Punch! Kick! Kick! And I was like, okay.
So then Nora tells her she has to come down to watch Marty, and yeah, it's whatever, it's okay. So she comes down into the kitchen, and I mean, what is she wearing? Is she wearing a sports bra? I don't even remember.
I think so.
Because, like, she's showing her stomach. I know that, I think, right?
It's a midget.
Yeah, whatever. So anyway, Derek and Sam come into the house, and Derek didn't tell Sam he had a stepsister? That, like, anything? Like, they're supposed to be best friends.
Yeah, if you're best friend, you're like, hey, my dad got married to this woman who has kids, therefore I have a sister, therefore she's in my school, therefore. But no, he's just, like, hiding it away like it's, like, the dirtiest secret ever.
Well, like, I can see, like, you know, it's not saying that she's a stepsister, and that'd be, like, one thing, because Sam would be like, she's your stepsister? Like, but he was like, you have a stepsister? Like, he was completely floored of the, like, and even, like, Derek having any stepsister. Like, I don't even know if he knows about, like, Lizzie, or that he has a stepmom. Like, it wasn't the fact about who's a stepsister, but it was, like, he didn't know about any stepsister at all.
Was he not invited to the wedding being, like, such a close family friend?
I don't understand how you would not know. Like, if my best friend, if my parents had gotten remarried, like, yeah, they might not have been, like, invited to the wedding, but I would have told them about it. I would have been like, yeah, my mom's getting remarried, like, I'm gonna have a couple stepbrothers, like...
On top of that, would he not have visited between the marriage and then? Like, if you're best friends, you go hang out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless Derek was, like, completely, like, against the whole thing and then would, like, make sure to never invite him and be like, no, let's hang out at your place kind of thing.
I don't know. I just think it's so weird that he kept this, like, Sam's supposed to be his best friend since, like, they were little, and that he kept this whole thing from him. If anything, that would start a fight, I feel like, because it's like, why didn't you tell me about this? Because that's a pretty big thing. You have, like, 3 whole new people living in your house now.
I thought you were my friend.
But I guess Sam's not dramatic, so...
It's true.
He's not Casey.
True. Maybe he writes poetry in secret and no one knows.
I mean, I could see him writing poetry. I could. Because he seems like that little, like, sensitive, tortured soul he could be like.
I mean...
in private.
Probably.
But Derek calls it a recent accident by marriage. So he hates the fact that he has a new stepsister, obviously. And, okay, so... and then Derek basically... but he finds, like, the sight of her, like, repulsive or something like that. And I'm finding it very hard to believe that he finds that repulsive. When he's such a ladies' man as he, like, proclaims to be.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now.
It's true. Like, I feel like Casey's the type of girl he would always go after, so there's no way that he'd find her repulsive at all. Oh,
no. He would see, like, if she had just come to his school and she wasn't his stepsister, he totally would have hit on her, totally would have found, like, her demeanor and everything, like, as a challenge that he wanted to, like, you know, conquer almost, in a way. So, it's just, like, he totally would have tried to date her, or, like, do something, like, you know?
Yeah, like...
because Casey's not ugly.
No, she's not. Like, that's what I'm saying, like, she's, like, the opposite of that. So, I think, like, probably every guy in the school probably should have been, like, zeroing in on her. But they're like, oh, wait, the second she opened her mouth and was like, I need to write poetry. They're like, no, I'm not about
Especially that first episode, she wants to gather everyone around and talk about bullying. Oh, wait, no, this is in that episode. Never mind.
This is in this episode.
Yeah.
But no, like...
but still, like, she says stuff, and, you know, obviously it's like, oh, God.
To be fair, though, she did show up, like, in a later episode, they talk about how they met, and how she showed up, and she was, like, braces. Didn't she have braces?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so.
And she's, like, in the uniform and everything, so technically, I don't even know how how it was, but then I feel like he was like, oh, God, when he first saw her, I don't remember clearly. And then she had like that huge makeover. Could you imagine the first time he sees her like that is at the wedding? And he's just like, at first he's not very attracted to her, so he's like, ugh, whatever. And then, like, he sees her at the wedding, like, normal Casey look, and then he's just like, oh, shit. That's probably why he's like, no, I'm repulsed, I'm thinking of braces.
Yeah.
Braces. Horrible ponytail braces.
Yeah. And I don't understand why Casey likes Sam.
I don't either.
I think in the third or fourth season when we see Sam predominantly again, and he has like a little bit of a haircut, and he doesn't have that horrendous hat on, he looks a little better.
But no, he has, like, the weird, like, skater hair under the toque.
Yeah, especially in especially in these like early episodes, I do not find him attractive whatsoever. I just don't.
I just don't.
So I don't get why she's so drawn to him, especially when like she's never even like really talked to him either up until this point, really.
It's love at first sight. Don't you know? But no, I was watching recently Rookie Blue. I don't know if you've heard this show. And it's another Canadian show, of course. So every actor is in there, of course. And Sam's in it.
Of course.
And he's a criminal in that, but still. And I was like, it was just funny to see
pretty much if you're ever a guest star in like Rookie Blue, Murdoch Mysteries, you're going to be a criminal.
Pretty much. That's how it is. But no, like, they go to see him and they just want to talk to him, and he's just like, yeah, I didn't do anything. And then he like just gives chase, so they're running after him, and I was like, lol, Sam, you couldn't handle rejection from Casey, goodbye. You became a criminal.
She's obviously seeing him and they're talking, and as she's talking to Sam, she's backing up, and then she falls into Marty's little box thing that she's like playing
making
in.
a house or something, I don't know.
But Derek does say something to her. I don't remember what he was saying to her, but she's yelling at him, and then she falls into the box.
I think she was just trying to get away from both of them because she was in her workout clothes and probably super gross and didn't want to be witnessed by them, right?
Yeah, but okay, so I could see it being slightly at fault there for both of them, for why she fell into the box. Because she was already going backwards, but then Derek had to say something, and then I think that really distracted her enough for her to fall into the box completely.
Yeah, I just think she was trying to get away because she didn't want to be seen in her state, right? Sweaty and that the more revealing clothes kind of thing. I think she was like, I'm out, I don't want to be around these guys. So she tried to make a quick getaway, and then that's what I thought happened, but...
And then after this, of course, she's all moody and everything again, and George is the one to come in and comfort Casey, kind of. That's one relationship I don't think we really got too much on.
No,
like,
we didn't.
George and Casey. And his little story to help Casey was kind of interesting. I mean, he was like, he backed up into his boss's car or something?
Yeah, and then everyone called him, like, Clueless George or George Clueless or something.
I think George Clueless.
And they just kept bringing it up. I think it's just because he's a bad driver altogether.
And that's part of it. I mean, it's shown, like, in a couple seasons later, like, he's always getting his, like, license, like,
taken away
and everything, and just, like, oh boy.
And then Casey has to teach him and Derek how to drive.
Yeah.
So, all in all, George is clueless about his driving skills. That's what the name's about. That's what I think.
But apparently, Derek calls him that from time to time, because he doesn't let that go either. So, that's part of why he says it to her. And then he just kind of says what I think is really good advice, because I don't understand why Nora or even, like, Paul didn't say this to her. But it's just kind of like, don't pay attention to Derek. Don't, like, give him the satisfaction of riling you up. Just kind of, like, ignore him.
Yeah, it's like water off a duck's back or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, just don't react to it at all. And then eventually, since you're not going to react, he's going to be like, okay, well, that's pointless to even, like, bring that up because she's not going to do anything. So I think that was good advice on him. And they have a nice little hug that I think is...
super awkward?
Well, because they don't really know each other, obviously. Like, you know, they just started living together. But I think it's sweet in a very awkward way.
This guy is pretty much her new dad, and she's obviously not going to think of him as her dad, because she still has her dad, right?
Yeah.
So that's the awkwardness that it brings together.
But I think it's nice, just, like, it just kind of sees that, it kind of just, like, they're starting to become a family in a way. Like, they're starting to be there for each other, despite, like, that's not his daughter. That's his stepdaughter, so...
He doesn't know how to comfort her in the same way, probably, as he would Marty.
Well, one, because he's never really had to deal with girls before. And, like...
True.
Marty's like 5, so like she's obviously not in this stage of her life where she's like this. It's more like, I can't find my toy, or, you know.
And then she's like eating on the ground out of a bowl because she's a cat. It's not like, oh my god, I'm being sued for falling on a boy's butt. Help me, George.
All those dramatics that, you know.
Yeah.
Don't you just hate those days?
You get sued for falling on a dude's butt.
Yeah.
Dang. It's just one of those days.
And then we go to the dinner that night. And so Derek is just kind of insistent on riling Casey up. He just keeps saying things, you know, talking about the fall in the kitchen. And for the most part, Casey's just like not paying attention to him until he says like, "Oh, I won't mention it, but like Sam might," or something like that.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh no."
So then she throws the dinner roll at him.
That's a waste of good food. Like, dinner rolls are like the best part of like food, like dinner sometimes, okay?
And then he throws it back at her, and her whole plate falls.
Godzilla strikes again.
You know, anyway, so that's what happens at dinner. We cut to the scene where Lizzie goes to talk to Derek, which I always really like this scene because, again, Derek and Lizzie, that relationship isn't really shown that much compared to the others. And this is the first time we really see them really interacting by themselves. And she tells her, like, you know, "Oh, because you're cool, you can help Casey, right?" And just Derek's all just like, not gonna happen.
Yeah, he's like, why would I help her? She's a dweeb.
But I just think it's really sweet for Lizzie to like kind of be sticking up for her sister that way, and she's just kind of like, you know, she really needs your help. So somehow, I mean, because Derek does have a heart, and I think this shows it because he then goes over to like start talking to Casey, but he doesn't really go about it the best way. He kind of just like, "Oh, well, you know, I don't want to be seen as a weirdo either," like something along those lines. Like, so it's like, if I help you, I'm helping myself kind of way. But like, Casey isn't going to be responsive to that. She's just going to be like, "Get the hell out."
Yeah, no, she sees him as an enemy, essentially. Like, not an enemy, but like an opposition, some sort of way, that she would question any help that he would give her way, right? Because he's always making fun of her, so she's like, "Oh, this is like a sabotage kind of thing. Like, why would he want to help me unless it's not really to help me, but to make more like fun of me kind of thing?"
Yeah, that's true too. Like, why? Like, he's essentially the reason why all this is happening. So why would he suddenly want to help me? And like, there seems to be a catch to it.
The good old catch-22.
Yeah. And then he winks at her when he's doing this.
He couldn't suppress that, like, desire that he's hiding, so he let a wink out. He was just like, "Hey, I can help you." Wink, wink.
And now he kind of wants to help her. It is kind of like a knight in shining armor kind of thing, I feel like, almost. Like, he wants to be, like, for the most part, he's kind of the only one who can really fix it besides, like, time. Like, just letting it, like, sizzle out. So then Casey's just kind of just like, "Alright, get the hell out." Basically. Like, she's just like, "Leave, you know, I don't need your help." And he gets so defensive over it. Like, I feel like if he didn't really care, he would have been like, "Fine, whatever," and then leave. But he gets so defensive about it, and he, like, storms into her room again. And so, basically, he's just like, "You think I caused your problem? Like, no, you're massively uncoordinated." But, like, it was his problem. It was, like, his fault, because he's the one that was laughing. He's the one that called her Kletzilla. I feel like if I witnessed that happening, I would have been concerned for everyone who just fell.
Yeah, you would have.
You know what I mean?
You would have been like, "Oh my god."
So I would have been like, "Oh my god, is everyone okay?" Yeah. But, like, almost immediately after it happens, you see, like, one of the, like, coolest guys in the school, like, laughing, and then he, like, makes fun of the one girl. So, like, it automatically gets this, like, groupthink kind of thing happening where everyone just kind of follows his lead.
It's true.
And so everyone's sympathies about what happened just goes out the window. So, like, if he didn't do that, I highly doubt it would still be like a big issue in the school.
Well, yeah, because, like you said, any normal person would be like, oh my god, are you okay? They wouldn't laugh. Because someone could have actually been hurt. Like, that's how it is. But seeing as he's, like, the upper echelon of cool in that school, everyone's like, oh, he's laughing. I should laugh too, so I'll be cool like him, and maybe
He'll think I'm cool.
Exactly. That's usually how it goes in, like, scenarios that, like, bullying and stuff. That's how it goes. People are like, oh, they're laughing, they're cool, I should laugh too. But yeah, no.
Derek, he starts thinking about it, and he's like, oh, there's a common element to all your falls. And then basically Casey's just like, it's you. Like, you're the common element. He insulted her. She fell. She called, like, he said something to her again, and she fell on Marty's thing. And then he threw the dinner roll, and her plate fell.
Yeah.
And then he says, no, it's Sam.
Which, I don't agree with at all.
I don't either. I mean, yes, he was there when he said the comment to her on the stairwell. And yes, okay, maybe she was looking at him too. But for the most part, her attention was on Derek, and then she fell.
Yeah.
Same thing with the second incident when she fell into Marty's, like, playhouse thing, whatever. She was talking to Sam at first, but then at the last second, her attention went to Derek, and then she fell. This one, just like Casey said, like, Sam wasn't even in the room when it happened. And and then Derek's like, no, like, I said his name. But it wasn't, like, right after she said that. It wasn't like, it wasn't like, but like, I'll tell Sam or something. Or, like, maybe but Sam might or something. I don't know what she said. He said at this point. But he's like, oh, but Sam might. And then her, like, plate fell. Then maybe we can say, yeah, okay, maybe it's with Sam. But it didn't happen until he threw the dinner roll at her.
I feel like Casey's aware that she's like, okay, it's actually Derek's doing all this. She's like, I know my feelings already, fam. But he's like, no, it's Sam. Good old Sam.
Don't crush on my friends.
Don't crush on my friends, okay? And she's like, no, I want to crush on you, okay?
But it's just such a stretch. And I just think it's like he maybe knows already that she likes Sam, or at the very least that Sam likes her because of his comment he made in the beginning of the episode.
Who's that?
So he's all, like, very defensive over it and everything. But that last one, it just cannot be Sam whatsoever.
I just think it's all Derek.
It is all Derek.
I'm just gonna go with that. You're stretching, Derek. You're stretching. You're trying to make yourself believe it's not you, but it is. You know.
And then, when he leaves her room after he tells her, like, don't crush on my friends, I never understood why it was so, like, in slow-mo.
It's for effect.
He comes out and it's all dramatic. He's like, dun 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 dun.
Don't crush on my friends. It's like the slow-motion walk as he realizes, it's not my friends, it's me. OMG.
Because then he just looks at Lizzie. And he kind of just, like, looks away, and that was it.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous.
And then we go to the next day at school, and you see Emily come in, and she is going to ditch Casey. She's not going to go to her locker. Which I think is also Emily's locker. So she's not going to go to her own locker.
No, like, Emily's straight up bitch for that. Like, wouldn't want Emily as my friend if all she cares about is her own reputation and doesn't want to help her friend out.
I know.
That's not a friend I want to have.
Like, I think you already know that, like, Emily really does care a lot about the cool group.
She does. That's all she cares about. She's like, oh my god, Derek's cool. I could be cool. Oh my god, my social ranking!
So now the fact that she's friends with one of the most uncool people at the moment, she's kind of like, oh, I can't do this. Like, I have to be, like, really far away from her. And so the fact that Derek comes down and is like, oh, where are you going? You gonna see your friend? Oh, your locker's on the other side of the room, right? Yeah, okay.
I sense that he knows that it's super uncool as well. And he's not up for it either. Because I feel like Derek's the type of guy that, while he is cool and he does have a reputation to uphold and everything, he's not the guy that's gonna ditch his friends for that.
No, I don't think, because, like, he has that kind of way of, he could talk to anyone and it wouldn't taint his status. Like, if if he's talking to Corey, which he does a little bit later, no one's gonna say anything. They're gonna be like, oh my god, Corey was talking to Derek. And, like, that would raise Corey's status rather than, bring Derek's down. It's just kind of like, it doesn't matter who he associates with because he's Derek. And I don't think he lets that bother him either. So he tells Emily to go talk to Casey. And I kind of hate that, like, Casey was like, oh, thank you, you're such a good friend. Like, right after that, when she sees Emily come up with her. And I'm just oh, if only you knew, Casey. If only you knew.
Yeah, no, like, Emily's a shady bitch.
I love the girl that comes around the corner.
It says, is it your favorite season?
Yeah.
Fall!
It's such a bad... And, like, I mean, the joke itself is just, like, obviously, like, cliche.
You're trying, that's all that matters.
But her delivery is so weak, too. It just makes me laugh. Because it's not like, Casey, like, who the hell are you, first off? Like, you're no one important.
Isn't she the girl who fell with them?
Casey.
It's the girl who fell on top of Corey with her. And I think she had, like, a retainer or something.
No, I don't think that's...
like...
No, that was someone else. This was someone completely different.
Was it?
Yeah. It was just some random-ass, like, extra that they had to give lines to.
You know what? It's probably Emily's real friend who's being super bitchy to Casey. And she's just like, yeah, I was gonna go tell you that joke myself, but you told it first. Good job.
And then Corey comes out. He comes over to her. I think Emily says it. Like, butt out, Corey.
You leave my butt out of this.
It was like back to back almost, basically, these two jokes, and it was just like, oh, who is writing this?
It was me.
But
I wrote these jokes.
It's A+ material here.
It is.
It is. I think itself, the jokes are fine. It's just like, oh boy, this whole episode. Everything you hear about Corey is just his butt.
Yeah.
Did we ever see him after this?
No, maybe he left and, like, pursued a butt modeling job or something. Because it's all about his butt, right?
Yeah, because, like, I think after this, it's, like, Sheldon that they really, like, you see a lot. Maybe. That's the dork, kind of.
Yeah.
That's not until the next season, I think. But, like, I don't know if we ever see Corey after this episode.
No, he's pursued his butt modeling.
Maybe that's why he's so, like, pressed about it. He's like, this is really going to hurt my butt modeling career.
Maybe, yeah, he was like, this is my only one chance, and you ruined it for me. I'm suing you. Maybe that's what it is. He had insurance on his butt. He had butt insurance. You know how, like, Mean Girls are like, is it Mean Girls, like, they have, like, insurance on Regina George?
Yeah.
Yes. That for his butt.
Oh my god.
His butt's insured for $10,000.
Oh boy. Oh god.
It's too funny.
Yeah. But,
But that's when she decides to do a speech, because everyone's still making fun of her.
Yeah. How long has it been? Like, at least a couple days now?
It's like 2 days, and she's like, oh my god, this is it. I must give out my Churchill speech, guys. We must stop.
Well, no, Derek pulls him away. Corey. He comes up and he pulls him away. And then he basically tells Corey, like, lay off Casey. She's my stepsister.
Yeah.
And so Corey's like, oh, I won't tell anyone.
He's like, no, do it.
No, tell everyone. Tell everyone.
Yeah, he's pretty much giving her immunity at that point,
mm-hmm.
right?
But I don't think that necessarily happens, but, like, obviously it doesn't help. I mean, obviously it helps to be connected to him in that way. Because, like, if you say something about Casey do you really want it to get back to Derek and then, like, have Derek basically, like, blacklist you?
There it is. That immunity. Tribal council immunity right there.
So, you know. And then, yeah, Casey, she wants to write a speech. Or not write a speech, tell her speech.
Yeah, she wrote her speech already. Yeah. She's ready to tell the world that bullying and making fun of people is not fun. And she's pretty much ready to commit social suicide.
Can we talk about this shirt that Casey's wearing, though? It's, like, hideous.
Everything she wears half the time is hideous, to be fair.
I mean, if you remember a lot of the Disney shows from this time period, they were all very, like, they wore, like, some of the weirdest shit ever. Like in Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana. Hannah Montana. I keep forgetting that you wrote for that. I can't.
But wait, hold on. I don't know, like, okay, so it's like this, like, it looks like a longer shirt, like, it's purple, a longer sleeve shirt, and then it's like this, like, tank top, like, whiter, like, not whiter, lighter, pink shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have no idea what the hell is on it. It's like, it looks like an S almost in a way, but it looks like a snake.
Let me tell you what it is. She prepared her outfit for this moment. It's an S for social suicide. And that's why she wore it.
But literally, it looks, I don't understand why anyone would wear that. I have no idea what it's supposed to be, and I just don't understand what it is. It's so ugly. Like, who would pick that up and be like, yes, I am going to waste my money on that. And 2, yes, I am going to wear it in public where I'm already, like, complete outsider.
I'm telling you right now, Casey obviously thought of that because she's the one who bought it, probably. Or Nora was like, I went to the Salvation Army, Casey. I got you this amazing shirt. And then she's like, thanks, Mom. I'll wear this when I want to commit social suicide. And then she decided, I'm going to do a speech. I have the perfect outfit for this occasion. It makes sense.
So she's ready to, like, wear this thing. Emily goes to Derek and she's like, you have to stop her. And then Derek's like, no, she won't stop.
Now, Emily cares, you have to stop her. Like, bitch, you didn't want to talk to her 5 seconds ago. You wanted to avoid her.
And now that she's talking to her, she doesn't want her to make it even worse for her to be her friend.
Yeah, she's like, I have motives here, Derek, and I need you to preserve them. Stop her.
So, and then Derek's like, no, I can't. She won't listen to me. And then, of course, Sam comes through at that moment. And Derek knows that he can probably stop her. So that's what happens. He takes her to class.
What a good way to save Casey from that.
Yeah.
Go to her favorite thing, schoolwork. Distract her with her one true love.
I don't know, like, because he kind of smiles as they're, like, walking away, Derek.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I don't know where her class was, but all of a sudden he's, like, there watching her go into her class. Like, he's like, following them.
Stalker.
Yeah. And, I just love that smirk that he gives when she bumps into the janitor as she's going into her class.
Uh-huh.
I just love that smirk that he gives her. Like, it's like, oh, Casey. At the very end of the episode, what is it? Oh, they have the family dinner. And Casey makes a casserole.
Casserole Casey!
Yeah! And that's like, supposed to be her new name.
She's like, oh, that's a great name. I'm like, that's not an atrocious name.
I know. Who wants to go around being like, hey, Casserole Casey? I'd be like, what the freak?
Like, can we be real? That's like the name you call your lunch lady because she makes a stellar casserole. Like, oh, hey, it's Casserole Tuesday. And then it's like, yeah. And then you're like, oh, hey, Casserole Casey, did you make me another good casserole? Yes, I did, student.
But I really like at the very end of the episode, I think Derek kind of like challenges her to give him a nickname or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh no, I think I've had enough, like, you know, whatever for the rest of like my life basically or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she brings up the fact that he had long hair in like grade 7 or something like that. And they used to call him Derica.
Classic.
Yeah. And I just think it's a point where you can see that Casey can fight back. And obviously Derek's impressed again by it. Because he's not like... He's not like upset about it. Like, he doesn't get like all like pissed off or anything. He just kind of like smiles. And he's just like...
Yeah.
He eats his casserole.
He's just like, touche, casserole Casey, touche. Lunch lady Casey. But here's the thing. Did you have a nickname in high school?
No.
No?
No, I didn't. Only a few people would ever call me Ash. That was basically it. But yeah, I didn't really have any like nicknames. I mean, if anything, people would call me Ashley Marie, like a couple people. But it's because that's my middle name. And then
I feel like a teacher would call you that.
Yeah, a couple of my teachers did it. Like, and I'm like, it's just Ashley. You don't have to say Marie.
Yeah, that's like, they were like, Vanessa Natalie, how are you? And I'll be like, no thanks. Don't call me that. Ever.
I don't mind. I like my middle name nowadays. Like, when I was little, I hated it.
Oh, same. I hated mine as well. I couldn't spell it either because there's different ways to spell Natalie, and mine's the French way to spell it. So that just like made it even more confusing to me.
How do you spell it?
It's It's N-A-T-H-A-L-I-E.
No H.
Yep, that's how it's spelt in French.
I hate the French language. You have way too many like letters that aren't used.
Yeah. Talk to me about that when I was a kid. Let me tell you! But no, I had a nickname in school. Not a lot of people called me it, but a bunch of my friends did. And it's because, it's like Vanessa, Ness, Nessa, Nessie. I've been called Nessie like I'm the Loch Ness Monster. That's what my hockey team would call me, would be Nessie. But I had one friend who called me Nesty.
Oh, gosh.
Because of Ness. Yeah. And he was like, oh my god, Nesty. And I'm like, yeah, that's my street name. They call me on the street Nesty.
I remember when...
That's my gang name.
I remember when I was in second grade, it was like when Pokemon was big. And then this one kid in my class kept calling me Ash Ketchum.
I like it.
But that was like the extent of nicknames for me. No one really had nicknames for me.
You should have been honored to be called Ash Ketchup. But no, mostly it was Vanessa, Nessa, Nass, and then my street name, Nesty.
But yeah, it was just Ash for me, if anything. But that was it.
Classic.
Question time? We do have one question for the fall in particular. How do you choose to interpret the ending of The Fall, where Derek seems content with Sam getting closer to Casey, knowing that he gets jealous again later on when the two of them are actually get together?
I think that's an easy question to answer, personally, because at that point I think he's happy that Casey has someone else to like pay attention to, I guess, in a way, because maybe he's not sure with his feelings, I would say. But once they actually, like, get together and date, he's like, okay, no. I don't like that at all, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think because at this point, it's just kind of like he's trying to get her out of a sticky situation, so he doesn't see anything happening at that point, so he's fine with it. But when he starts seeing, like, oh, shit, like, this is serious more, like, on both sides.
He can't have that.
It's like, no, we can't do this. Nope. Because at this point, he just kind of saying, like, oh, Casey had a little crush on Sam. And, like, oh, Sam, like, had interest in her. Like, he thought she was cute. But there's nothing, like, concrete there just yet. Until we see later on in the episode where they get together, where it's like, oh shit, this is real, they actually really like each other.
And then he's just jealous.
Yeah. Yeah, but thank Miss Lyra GW for that question. That was on Tumblr. GW.
Cool. So you know how we talked about like short films and stuff, like little short movies that like the actors have done? Well, mostly Mike. We talked about that and how he like slept with Nora in that thing. We didn't talk about that one where Casey was in, like Ashley was in, and then you're like, oh my god, this is tame compared to what Ashley's short was.
It wasn't a short film. It was like a series.
It was like an episode, but it was like
she was like she was in that episode, but they had like a couple episodes in that series. I can't find it. I have to look to see if I can find it. I still didn't do that.
I'm sad to say it's removed from YouTube.
It was that risque.
It was very risque, indeed. It was like all out there.
No, because I think that Ashley said this was like her first like sex scene, which I mean, you don't really see anything. It's just you just see her back. But
and her on top of the guy.
I think she's basically seeing all the guys in this one friend group, and like they all know it. It's like a very like.
It's a very public thing that they know, but she's with them for different reasons. Like, one guy's an emotional relationship.
Yeah.
It's where she can go to, like, vent and, like, cry about stuff. One guy's, like, the sexual relationship.
Mm-hmm. And
they're all jealous of each other. Like, the guy who's sleeping with her actually wants to have that emotional connection, and the guy who has the emotional connection wants to actually sleep with her.
And stuff like that. So it's a very interesting episode. I wish I knew where you could find it. Like, unless like I have it in my like somewhere on my like drive or something. But
isn't it like We Are Disorderly or something?
Yeah, that's the name of the episode. The name of the show. Yeah, it's called Our Girlfriend. Yeah, I think, like, the one guy, she just kind of, like, she talks with a lot. The other guy, she just, they just, like, go out to eat or something.
Either way.
And then the one guy she just sleeps with.
Yeah.
So, like, they're all fulfilling, like,
one of her
needs. Like, all three of them are, like, the perfect boyfriend. That's all I remember.
Yeah, that's all I remember, just because I was just, like, going through it. I'm like, okay, cool. And then I'm just like, oh my god. I was like, what's happening? I just love how it's Ashley is the one that went the most risque out of both of them.
Yeah. I can't believe that they took all the videos down. That like really pisses me off.
I know.
Also, we're doing something a little bit different on the YouTube one where I'm showing pictures of the stuff while we're talking about it, so you have a clear idea of what we're talking about. Just let me know if you like that, because, you know, I think it helps understand more. But, yeah, let me know about that. Definitely, you know, give us questions for the next episode that we're doing, which is The Party, which is one of my favorite episodes of the series.
Oh, that's when they get stuck in the bathroom together?
Mm-hmm. So,
And yeah, you send comments and questions to us, but also, I'm doing another thing because no one loves me, and please, listen to our thing on anchor.fm, sign up, send us text messages, voice messages, and we can add you directly into the episode and answer that. Please, love me. Do this for me. I cry every time I don't get any.
Okay, well, until next time, bye-bye.
Love me.